As people have known, Microsoft is going through quite some hard times, with Phil Spencer gone, Sarah Bond gone, thrown under the bus. We now have a new CEO for Xbox, but at the same time, there have been some conversation points about many things, particularly the value of Game Pass and whether it's honestly worth it for you as a consumer to get it. It is $30 for Game Pass Ultimate. And you know what? No one really gives a shit about Ubisoft Plus or EA Connect or all the other bullshit services. But there's actually a lot of people who would quite be willing to spend money for Game Pass if it came with a WoW sub, Fallout First for the 76 players, Elder Scrolls Online Plus. All of these features coming to Game Pass at $30 would make it a bargain, an absolute bargain for anybody that plays even just a little bit of things. And I look at this and I think to myself, it really isn't super surprising for Blizzard or Microsoft in this context, because they don't really give a shit about Blizzard, to want to do this. It makes sense. It all checks out, and it's a very logical next step for Xbox's push towards getting more people on Game Pass. Now, I think this plan is not happening. I'll explain why. Phil Spencer's push for Game Pass, push to kill Xbox and make everything multi-platform, quite literally failed. Xbox didn't gain the market share I thought. They've spent 70 something billion. I think they're close to 85 billion in acquisitions between Bethesda, Activision Blizzard King, and all these other studios they've acquired. They haven't made the money to show it off. And I think killing off their exclusive branding, killing off what made Xbox special and unique, was one of the dumbest things Microsoft could have potentially done. And the new CEO is actually walking it back. One of the first things she said was console focus, no AI slop, and just making games that gamers want, which are all pretty words, right? It's a CEO, they're known for lying. Let's not kid ourselves. Most CEOs don't tell the truth. They tell you what you want to hear, so stock price and shareholder value can go up, because we as the consumer are absolutely goddamn secondary. But it does bring us to the next part of this discussion. I could actually see World of Warcraft sub getting added to Game Pass as a specific tier. The ultimate tier, or just the separate WoW subscription, $15 for WoW, or you spend 30-40 bucks for, Game Pass Ultimate. And I think a lot of World of Warcraft fans would actually go for the $30 subscription. I think a lot of people would pay it, because it gives them access to more than just World of Warcraft. It gives them access to all these first-party games that they get to buy immediately. Keep in mind, the average gamer, based on Microsoft statistics, buy 2 AAA games a year. Some people buy 3, but the average is 2 to 3 AAA games per year. So about $140 to $210 with the new $70 price tag. A lot of World of Warcraft gamers won't even play most of the games. But having that option, that imagination, that luxury of potentially being able to play these games would make a lot of people honestly consider it. And that's kind of the thing with Blizzard in this context of, I truly think we might see World of Warcraft on Game Pass. No matter how small a percentage it is, the chance is quite literally there for them to do this. I think it would be foolish, because it's just going to make it so. Now, I take that back. I think it would be even better. I think so many more people would come back to World of Warcraft if spending $30 meant you get Game Pass and then WoW on top of it. I actually think this would increase World of Warcraft's player count. I think World of Warcraft would actually have more players if Game Pass was $30 with World of Warcraft as a subscription element added onto that. But at the end of the day, no matter how you really look at it, it's Xbox making poor financial decisions after Xbox making poor financial decisions. Blizzard is always going to be profitable. Blizzard has never not been profitable. Blizzard is one of the most profitable gaming companies in history. I think they haven't made less than $1 billion a year in 10 years. They're an absolutely phenomenally profitable company, no matter what they do. For example, the Brutal Assault mount that came to retail WoW, I think they made $90 million in 2 weeks. That's an insane amount of money to make in 2 weeks for a giant $90 fucking dinosaur with a bank on it. Well, with the mailbox and an auction house, I think, as well as that, the second Brutal Assault, the one that you could buy with real life money. Regardless, we will see what Microsoft does in the near future. But in the meantime, we got some other things to really discuss. Now, though, the one final thing I really want to talk about today is tanks, the auction house, and well, not just the auction house, but tanks selling services and what's been happening in game. A lot of tanks who are full bis or full pre-bis are running dungeons, heroics. They list themselves for 100G per run, 75G, 200G, yada yada. Like they list the price, people pay for it, they don't pay for it. You run the heroic, you get your gear or whatever you're after, and the tank reserves some blues or greens and they get paid for it. And you have people like this guy, Ed TFW, whatever the fuck his name is, who literally left the group because the tips are optional, but the tip wasn't enough. So he just said, fuck it, I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with this, and called everybody a clown. Now, you look at this and you think to yourself, I mean, yeah, just, it is what it is. Either pay for a tank or don't, or find another one. The issue is more of a lot of people have played TB so efficiently and so fast that people would rather pay for a tank or report the tank rather than just be in a slightly shittier, less optimal group, right? There are a lot of people who won't run with prot warriors, who would rather wait for a prot pally, who won't run with bears, yada yada, because they want a specific comp, a specific efficiency. Well, you can't do a Shattered Halls without A, B, and C. A, B, and C makes like Shattered Halls easier, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a necessity or a thing that has to happen, or it's 100% this or 100% that. The big issue with World of Warcraft right now is the fact that the community has removed the RPG from the massively multiplayer game. It's a huge game whose RPG elements have been snuffed out and choked the life out of because it's not efficient to play the game as an RPG. And efficiency is fucking king. And that sucks so fucking much because I love TBC. I'm having a blast. I'm fully pre-bist. I got almost every piece of gear. The only thing I'm missing is the Cenarian Exalted Ring, right? And I'm almost there as well. I just don't want to spend the gold to go buy it. I have raid gear, I have everything else. I'm fully decked out. I'll be finished with the Cenarian Ring today as well. The whole issue I have overall is that the community could make the world and the experience drastically better, but every single person wants to play the game in a way that only benefits them. And to a degree, these tanks are allowed to charge and do what they want because it's their time. They went and farmed the pre-bis, they went and picked their tank, they went and chose the most in-demand class for heroics to now have this experience. But a lot of people could avoid this entire drama, this entire shit show, if people just played in non-optimal situations and played to have fun. Some of the most fun you'll have and some of the best friends you'll meet are during dog shit experiences and dog shit moments in game where people are fucking around, having fun, and finding out. Now, this has been a long-winded fucking rant, right? It's whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, I stand on business. I stand mentally right here to tell you all, you have to love the world in World of Warcraft and not just the Warcraft at the end game. And a lot of you only love the Warcraft and have forgotten about World of. It's the same thing that happened in Anniversary, same thing that happened in the end of 2019, same thing that happened in TBC Anniversary right now. When you've snuffed the soul out of the experience, the game becomes spreadsheets, numbers, and checklists. There's always going to be positive communities, positive groups, positive experiences. But more of the community needs to rally behind giving a shit. And the number one thing Blizzard could do to address this is ban all the fucking bots and all the fucking gold buyers and make it so things are at a nice, clean, solid state so people can actually farm in the open world and actually go to a place without there being 7 billion fucking moat farming bots in Hellfire, in Shadowmoon Valley, in the Grand. Every single place that you can farm is full of bots. Blizzard, please. Ban them. Holy shit.